Hey guys, so today I'm here for a really fun video and that's going to be a Q&A. Over the last couple of weeks I've asked on my Instagram for people to ask me questions about book related things or just really whatever you want to ask, like they're all book related, but still I had a Q&A hosted on my Instagram and I've got all the questions here now to answer them all and I'm so excited. So there's 17 questions to answer, and when I did one of these videos like a couple of months back I had 10 questions and that video went for like 12 minutes, so hopefully this one won't be as long, but I'm going to get through all the questions and have a lot of fun answering, so let's get into it. So the first two questions are from Kool and Co, and they are an amazing Australian candle shop. Like, how cool is it that candle shop's following me? But what's really exciting is with Kool and Co, they had a rep search a month ago and they picked me to be one of their reps, and I'm going to be the rep in April, which is like so cool. But I always buy their candles. I love buying them. Like, I used to never get bookish candles and now I have like an obsession because of Kool and Co. But they've asked me two questions and I'm so excited. So the first question that I've been asked is my favorite series of all time, and I'm going to say the Luxe series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Like, this is a new series but I just love it. Like, I was looking through like some of my list of like favorite series and this was the one that's most apparent on all those lists, but like literally it's so good. Like, it's such a good fluffy contemporary that has got aliens in it. Like, it's just, I loved it, and even though it's not the best written story and the plot's not the best plot ever, it's still a great series. Like, 5 books, well it's more like 2.5 because you got the first 2 books in a bind up and then you get the next 2 and then the 5th one, but just I love it so much. It's so good. Like, everyone needs to read these. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone's read them, but they're just so good. And the second question they asked me was my favorite standalone of all time, and are you guys gonna know because it's like my favorite book of all time, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Oh my god, it is like my most beloved book ever. Like, I really want to read it again, but I'm waiting because like I've gotten old in my age where like these little books are just so hard to read because the writing is so freaking tiny and it just makes everything difficult. So I'm gonna wait till I get a bigger one. Like, I feel like I'm gonna do the same with The Discovery of Witches, which is like a small copy, and I'm just like, what am I even, like, it's so difficult. But like literally this book is so magical and beautiful that I just can't even describe it because it's just so dear to my heart. And like, oh, I mean, I've read it 3 years ago and I still can't even. It's just so beautiful and I just I love it. Everyone read it, please. The next 5 questions I've got are from Bex and Books, and she has an Instagram and a booktube, so I will link her down below because you guys should check her out because she's so funny. She does great videos. I love watching her and she has amazing Instagram photos as well. But she's asked me 5 questions, so thank you for that. I was so like, my god, so many questions, but I'm so excited. The first one is kind of long so I'm going to use my book to read it, but it's, if you were stuck on an island, which 3 characters would you take to help you escape and get back to safety? That is a great question. I see that around sometimes, but I've always wanted to answer this, so yay. So number 1 would be Rice from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, because like he could just winnow me out. He has a power of like teleportation. He could just winnow me out, or he got wings. He could just fly me out. Like, you only need him. He would get you out, but he'd also be great company and really funny, so definitely he would be helpful. Next person I'd bring with me is Kestra from The Winter's Curse by Maria Matosque, because she is very smart. Like, if the flying thing didn't work or the winnowing thing didn't work, she'd be able to figure out a plan to get us out there. She'd probably figure out a way to get a boat or get something happen or get a plane. She'd figure something out, and she'd also be really smart to figure out what type of foods we should eat or what should be going on, so she'd be very tactical in the situation. And the last person I would take with me is Roth from A White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout, because he is like the lord of hell, so he could just portal us down to hell and poof us up where we need to be. Like, he is the leader pretty much. Like, he's the prince of hell. He's not the leader, he's the prince of hell, so he'd be able to take you down there, get you out. He's got demon powers. He can fly too. Like, Reese could fly me and Roth could fly Kestra. Like, this plan is working out good. So yes, these 3 would just get me out of there and I'd just be this helpless little thing crying in the corner of the island. But these people help me, please. These people need to help me. So the next question I have is my top 3 favorite book boyfriends, and I'm gonna try and, like, even though there's a lot, like I have a million book boyfriends, I'm just gonna pick 3 that I do really love, because like Roth and Damon and Reese could be my top 3 boyfriends, but I don't want to keep using the same answers, so these are my new, see, these are like they're up there, but like I would probably pick other people, but they're up there. So the first one is Kale from Protoglass. I know Sarah J Maas is hating on Kale right now because she didn't have him in the last book and just everything has gone to shit. Like, I'm still team Kale. I'm sorry, like, I love Rowan, but team Kale, because he was just the first one and I loved him. Like, this is the first book to actually so wreck me, because most of the time I go with the person that the author would want the character to be with, and like when she ruined Kale, I was like, I'm not gonna read this. Like, Throne of Glass has been tainted because of how she's treated Kale in this book. I love him. he could be my boyfriend. I would pick him. My second book boyfriend would be Cricket from Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. He has an imprint on my heart. I just think he's the cutest little thing ever. Like, no one is better than Cricket because he is adorable, he's sweet, he's fancy, he dresses well, I love him. And number 3 would be Carlin from The Wrath of the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I don't even think our relationship would work. I'd be too terrified to handle situation in life with him, but I still love him. He is just so perfect and his lines are great. Like Renee Ahdieh, props for writing amazing character in your book, because just Carlin is everything to me and I love him so much, and I feel like I would die if I hadn't read him. Like, I can't even think. Like, I love him so much. The next question she asked me was, what is my favourite book cover I own? And that would be 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. Like, nothing is gonna top this. This is just so cool. Because look at it. You got the city happening and then you got Russia happening, and it's just beautifully morphed and arted and just... It's so good. And it's not just a cover buy though, because I feel like most of the time if you buy a book because of a cover, you're not going to like the book, but this was an amazing book. It's like one of my favourites ever. Like, I love this book and it's so good, but just seriously, it's the beautifulest cover. Like, she got so lucky with this damn cover because it's so gorgeous. The next question she's asked me is a popular series I haven't read. I feel like people are going to kill me, but... Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I own it. It's not even mine. My mum owns it. It's in the other room and I have them all. But I don't read this. I have never read this. I don't know. I just missed the time period when everyone was reading the Harry Potter series. Like, I tried. I literally read the first page and I was like, what am I reading? This seems stupid. And then like the movies came out, then everything happened. So I've seen all the movies. I know about everything pretty much. So I don't know. Like, I feel like it might be something that I might do in the future. Like, I mean, I know everyone's like, you have to read Harry Potter, but I just haven't done it. And I don't really feel the need to read it, but I kind of do sometimes. Like, every time I watch the movies, I'm just like, oh, it'd probably be good to read the book. Like, this one is only like 200 pages. Why is this book so small? I never realized that, but like, I don't know. And I've got like the real crappy covers. Like, these are so old and like all my family has read these, but like I have not. So yeah. And the last question she asked me is, what is my favourite bookish item or merch? And I'm going to say my Co-Math pillow. It's so beautiful. Like, look, then I would have taught about the world to get you back. Ow! Like, I just can't. Like, I look at this all the time. It's on my bed and I'd like hug it all the time because it's so beautiful. I have an obsession with bookish pillows, but I really try and not buy them. Like, I have this one and the Clockwork Angel pillow, but like, I feel like the next one I'm going to buy, like if I buy it, is like when I read Six of Crows. I really like the design of the No More There's No Funeral pillow, but I can't buy it until I've read the book and know that I love the book, because I'm sure I'm going to love the book, but I just want to make sure. So like, there'll be a third pillow. Like, I don't have the space for pillows, but like, I love pillows and this is just my favourite pillow ever. The next question I've got is from my lovely friend Ashton Jones. She is such an amazing person and literally I love watching her on Instagram. Like, her stories always make me laugh and she just takes great photos and she's just lovely. But her question for me is 5 books that I really disliked, and it's funny because she's saying that I always talk about the books that I really like and I never talk about the books that I don't like. It's just, I don't like being really negative, so if I am negative about a book, it's just because it was shit. Completely. So that's that. So yeah. I've only had like 6 books that I've really not liked, so I feel like I just want to add them all. Like, I have 4 of them in my hands right now, and the other 2 I got rid of because I couldn't stand them. So the other 2 were Stardust by Neil Gaiman and After Moonrise by PC Cast and Juna Showalter. They're just shit. I know people say Neil Gaiman is amazing, but I couldn't get into it. Like, I so wanted to like Stardust and I just didn't, and it annoyed me profusely because I didn't like it. And After Moonrise, I just feel like it was a very erotic, weird ghost story that just didn't make sense. It was just horrible and I had to read it all in one day and it was just like, awful book. No, don't even want to go there. But the 4 that I have here physically are The Land of 10,000 Madonnas by Kate Hatterman. Don't read this unless you want to die inside from boredom and how crap this book was. Just saying, if you want to see how shit my feelings for this book go, watch the book review that I made. I'm throwing a lot of shade at this book. I'm completely rude. Like, I started filming it happy and by the end of it, I'm just like, this is a piece of crap. I was actually so shocked that I had that many emotions about it, but just if you want to see more of my thoughts, because this was just the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life. Next book would be The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. This would probably be the least on this list because The characters were somewhat okay, but just the whole book was so freaking boring. And okay, the characters weren't that great. Like Nella, the main character, was the only good thing about this, and the magical realism was pretty cool, but just everything was so stupidly boring and nothing happened, and then everything was happening and I didn't care by that point, and I just wanted it over, and it took me like 6 months to read this damn piece of shit. The next book would be Waterfall by Lauren Cade. The first book, Teardrop, was amazing. It was a great book, great plot, blade, everything. This book was so bad and I was so excited, and it was just shit. Like literally everything went wrong. The main character just got stupid and turned into like the villain of the story, and I'm just like, why is it happening? And then it didn't really sum up and it didn't make sense, and it just wasn't anything like the first book, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. Like seriously, it was just so bad. And the last one is Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rash. It was literally the worst book 2 of a trilogy I've ever read. It was so bad and I just hated it. It was so boring, nothing was happening, and just everything just that was happening was stupid, and I couldn't do this. I literally couldn't do it. Actually, just saying, like Glassdoor was another book 2 that I just thought was really kind of stupid, and it didn't make a lot of sense, and everything was going bad. Like book 2 sometimes are just so horrible, but just like the first book of this was so good, and the third book was so good, but the middle book was shit, and I don't even want to think about it ever because it was just so bad. The next 2 questions I've got are from Sweet Little Bookworm, and I'm really excited to answer these. Thank you so much for asking me questions. It's so sweet. But the first question she asked me was my favorite TV show, and I like seriously can't decide between Downton Abbey and Once Upon a Time. Like they're my absolute 2 top favorite shows. Like Downton Abbey was so good, breaks my heart watching that show, but so good. And Once Upon a Time is just like my trash show, because like even though the quality and effects and everything are really bad, I just can't stop keeping up with the characters and keeping up with the plot. Like I love the fairy tale elements of that series, and it's just so good. And the next question she asked me was, what is my favourite bookish candle? And I have 2. I couldn't not choose these 2 because they're my absolute favourites. So the first candle is my Freestone candle from the book Hangover, and like it's so gorgeous, and it's got like purple and grey, and it's just like my absolute favourite ship. And like it's got glitter, and it just smells so good. It smells so good. Like I love this candle. Like Book Hangover has the cutest little candles in these little jars, and I'm just like, oh, you're so cute. And the next one is my Kale candle from Kool and Co. So this is just like a little snippet of their products. I will link their Etsy page down below because you guys should check out this candle store. But I love this candle so much, and oh, it smells so good. Like this is blossom, blackberry and citrus, and it's just the best smelling thing ever. Like it made my house smell so good. Like it's already got burn marks, but it's got glitter, and it's just beautiful, and it's my baby, so I just so gorgeous. Like these are just the best candles. Read Books and Chill asked me a question that's sort of one that I've already answered, which is the worst book I've ever read, and I'd have to say that it would be Stardust, because that was just, or would it be Stardust? It's probably one of that list. Like I can't actually say if would it be Stardust After Moonrise or To Waterfall. Like maybe even The Land of 10,000 Madonnas at this stage, because it's just, these books are so bad. But like, thank you for the question though, because like I didn't even think to like morph them together until this point. But yeah, like I literally, like there's only about 8 books that I really disliked, so that's pretty good for a good reading time. But yeah, they're the ones that I really didn't like. JMB1282 is a lovely person. We always talk about our YA Chronicles boxes, and we always talk about stuff, and we were both studying early childhood at the same time, which is a lot of fun. And she's asked me 3 questions, which is really great. So the first question is, what is my favourite non-YA book, or do I have any really? So I'm thinking non-YA means that it can be an adult book. So here are some of my favourite adult books. So the first one would be Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. It's just a really cute romance, and I really love the way that it's written, and it's like a lot of emails and texting, and that's just a lot of fun. Then I've got Losing It by Cora Carmack. This one's actually more new adult, but it's still a really great read. Like I know it's not the best written book or even like the best plot or everything, but I just lived for this book. Like I just love the characters and the trope, and just it made me so happy reading this. And the last one would be Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Like I just love this book. It's so good, such a like fulfilling book, even though it's really sad, and the movie was great as well. So these are definitely my favourite like non-YA books because they're so good. The next question she's asked me is my favourite and least favourite YA Chronicles boxes. So my favourite concluded Words in Deep Blue by Craft Quality, because this book came signed, which is pretty cool. I really like that. It had a signed book plate. It came with an epic scarf that had a library card on it. It came with a book light, and it came with a soap, and it was just the coolest stuff I've ever had in my life. And I have to say my least favourite box was For Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Neven, because I already owned the book and I already owned the lip balm, and then the rest of the things were like good, but just it was really disappointing that I already owned the book. Like I didn't even think when I bought it, and I was like, oh, my money's gone, yo, because I already own this book and I bought that book and it just was like, oh, what am I doing? So that's why that one was annoying. And the last question she asked was any popular series or books that I couldn't get into, and I gotta say A Dark Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. I'm not obsessed with this book. Like I'm kind of on the side that didn't really like it because it really wasn't the best book, and I feel so bad saying this. I didn't like it at all until like halfway through, and then it got a little bit better, but just I'm not really into it. But A Conjuring of Light is the book of the month for one of my book clubs that is happening in March, so I'm kind of like have to read it, but then I can get this series done and then I don't really have to think about it because I was so excited. So it was really overhyped for me, and then I didn't end up like enjoying it. Lee's Pages then asked me my final 3 questions, so thank you so much for asking questions. It means the world to me that all you guys actually ask these questions because you want to find out more about me, and it makes me happy because I get to make these really fun videos, so thanks. So the first question she's asked me is my top 3 bookish couples, so I'm going to be using books that I've already mentioned because like these are my favourite couples. So first one is Khaled and Charizard because they're amazing and they work so well together and they're just beautiful. And the next couple is Feyru and Rysen because they're just amazing and I love them and they just work so well together and they're so beautiful and I just I can't. I love them. And the last couple I actually didn't mention, so I lied in that last bit, but it is Rafe and Leah from The Kiss of Deception because they're beautiful and they work so well. This is the theme. They're just paired so well and they play off each other, and I just love all these couples because they kill me every time I read them. The next question she's asked me is what made me want to start my booktube and my bookstagram, and the reason for that is because I love books and I want to talk about books with people. I started my booktube first, but the first booktube video I ever saw was one of Sasha's book videos where it was like 5 books that just threw me, where it was just the biggest plot twist she's ever read, and I was like, oh my god, this is cool. And then I just started watching more and more of her videos, and then I just started finding more and more booktubers. And I finally decided that I just wanted to do this. Like, I was kind of waiting until I built my shelves before I started my YouTube channel, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. I want to just start doing booktube, so I just started doing it. And at first, I sucked. Like, I couldn't talk. Like, the person that you see on your Instagram stories is like me, as me and being a normal person, but when I first started, I couldn't talk. I couldn't look at the camera right. I just couldn't formulate what I wanted to say, but now that I can, it's so much fun. The reason I didn't start my Bookstagram for a while was because I had a really shit phone that didn't support Instagram. So when I got Instagram, I was instantly like, yo, I am doing this because it seems like such a cool, fun thing to have. So I absolutely love taking book photos. It's a lot of fun. I love sharing my books and my shelves and my opinions about books, and I've had so many people following me and loving it, and I never thought I'd get so many people wanting to actually like look at my photos or watch me on Instagram stories, because sometimes they get very weird, but it's just me bringing out myself in the best light. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's ever subscribed or watched or liked my photos or followed me. It's just, you guys are the reason why I keep making things and keep talking and keep reading is the rate I want to read, because I just want to experience new things and just have a lot of fun. And the last question she asked me was, do you have any cover buys or bought a book because it was so hyped up? So I guess that is 1,000 Pieces of You and A Darker Shade of Magic, because I sort of already answered these questions, but this was very hyped up and this is just a beautiful cover buy, and I think it just broke it. But yes, these books are just beautiful and I love them. But guys, that is my 17 questions of the Q&A. Thank you so much. These questions were actually a lot of fun, and this video has been going for a long time, but it's because I like to talk my head off. So yeah. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this and I'll see you later. Bye!